Welcome to the Lucha Lounge. I'm your host, Steve DeMarco. What else am I going to talk about but the IWE? Our debut show was this past weekend, February 21st, to be exact, and a lot went down. So, first and foremost, I'm going to cover some of the results. Well, before I go into it, I want to first thank all of the talent that came and performed on the show. I'm the host of the IWE shows at the Independent Arena. But I want to thank each and every one of the talent that performed. Did a great job and, made for a very good show. And I also want to express my gratitude to the DOJO Productions team, guys like Jason, Justin, Jam, Trisha House, just to name a few. But I feel like they're completely on board with IWE and helping us put out our product and our content, and I'm very much looking forward to working with those guys, as well as the rest of the staff. And last but certainly not least, I want to thank all the wonderful women of IWE, in no certain order. Maria, who's definitely ready for prime time, Roxy, Sugar, Jinya, Starlet, and Whiskey, as well as Bailey. So all those ladies definitely make for a very, very entertaining show as far as I'm concerned. I'll cover the results very quickly. There are going to be some that are going to be posted. So on the IWE Slam MySpace, we are in works of getting our IWESlam.com working. We do have flyers for the March 7th show already. But I'll cover really briefly just kind of the quick results. First match in our debut match, it was Robbie the Rockstar, and he was facing Rubio's newest acquisition. Rubio now heads up the Imperial Entertainment Worldwide Agency, and his very first client is Your Feature Presentation, Adrian Sensation. And Adrian came with a lot of hype. I've seen this guy wrestle the likes of Sabu, some guys from WWE and TNA. He's always been able to hold his own, always been kind of a highlight reel of sorts. Expect big things from him, as well as Robbie the Rockstar, who has garnered success in California as well as Texas. But Robbie was on the losing end as Sensation proved once again that he is your featured presentation. Second match had Ruthless Ryan Davison, who on the IWE Slam TV YouTube page created quite a stir with his promo from our inaugural video and promo video, and claiming that he was the cornerstone of IWE, and came in with a lot of bravado and whatnot, and he was facing the Crusaders. Pop or Lock, I'm really not sure who he was facing. I believe he started with Lock. Got a little, Ruthless got a little too sure of himself, a little too cocky, and ended up losing one of the surprise finishes of the night, definitely. But the Crusaders are definitely add a lot to the show, and so does Ruthless. Shame he lost, but I'm expecting great things from both, all three men. Third match was definitely, probably, arguably the match of the night, and it featured Kaotic versus Q, the mysterious one, or the mysterious Q. Kaotic feels that any non-luchador more or less is disrespecting his lucha heritage when wearing a mask, and he took task to Q. They had their match, and gotta say, Q surprised me and probably surprised me in the building with a win, but a very hard-fought victory for him, and I believe that we're just kind of seeing the beginning of these two, something between these two. Kelly Kevin had been the special guest referee because Kelly wanted to do something special on the show, and me being the host wanted to accommodate Kelly, so I gave Kelly the honors of being our special guest referee, but apparently Kelly didn't like that. Intermission stopped the show, and I had to kind of intervene, being the host, wanting to make sure the show continued and whatnot. So I made a quick match and brought in Cash, who is a very large individual and a guy that I brought in specifically to ensure that our show would flow and any people that were causing issues, get their just deserves. And unfortunately for Kelly, was on the losing end of a match against Cash. And finally, in the main event, a match that was 8 months in the making, a rematch. It was Gustavo Mendoza, who has achieved fame and achieved much success in many places, versus Victor Imperial Porter, otherwise known as VIP, proving once again at the end of the night why he calls himself VIP, picking up the victory. So, with that in mind, I know the IWCS it will be kicking in full swing pretty shortly, and there will be many. I definitely want to hear what the fans thought, the ones who did come to the show. I would like to know what your top 10 is, who you thought had match of the night, so on and so forth. I always look for feedback and whatnot, as this will be not just on my channel, but also will be on IWE Slam's MySpace. But I would definitely like to hear people's opinions and views. But I'll make it very quickly. The bottom 5 are guys who all didn't fare too well. Number 10, I would say, would probably be Kelly Kevin, because of the loss. Now, Kelly does get points for being the special guest referee, but when it came time to have a match, and not just that, but disrupting the show, but when it came time to be a match, on the short end of that encounter. Secondly, our number 9, I would say, would be Robbie the Rockstar. In a tough position debut, first match, looked pretty good against Sensation. Like I said, I'm both 10 and 9. I expect good things from. Number 8 would be Ruthless Ryan. Purely surprising. I mean, if this guy was on the winning end, I'm sure he'd be in the top 2 or 3. But because of the loss, unfortunately, but very strong promo guy, and again, another guy I expect good things from. Number 7, I would say, could be a toss-up between Kaotic and Gustavo. I would say Gustavo would be number 7. When you lose a main event shot, I mean, he came in with a lot of bravado as well, and to come in on the losing end, unfortunate. Again, number 6, like I said, these guys could kind of flip-flop. Actually, 8, 7, and 6 could probably flip-flop, but, for argument's sakes, I would say Kaotic, because they did, in essence, arguably have the match of the night, and it was very close for both. So, there you have it. On the top 5, starting with number 5, I would say Cash would be, even though he looked dominant, Kelly probably wasn't the most prepared to face Cash, so, bottom 5. But I expect big things from Cash. He's definitely going to be in the mix at some point. Number 4, again, 4, 3, 2, and 1, depending on your mood, more or less. But I would say number 4 would be Pop or Lock, one of the Crusaders. Whoever got the pin, I would say it was Pop. Definitely with a surprising win over a guy of Ryan's caliber. And definitely they're going to be on the upswing. And like I said, just more or less, just depending on your mood, would differentiate my pick. So number 3, I would say, would be Sensation. It's an opening debut. He did showcase quite a bit, but again, it was an opening match. So, but Sensation's got something on the horizon, he has stated. So, we'll see. Number 2 would be Q. A big win, probably match of the night. Showed quite a bit of fortitude. So I look at that guy to be number 2. And number 1, anytime you win the main event and avenge a loss, 8 months prior, definitely, VIP's on the upswing. But again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing, kind of like the bottom half of the 10. Anybody. I mean, it's a brand new system, so there's going to be. And like I said, I want to know what the fans think. As a host, I'm always looking to provide the best entertainment for the fans, and also provide the best entertainment for anyone watching or listening. On the horizon on March 7th. I'll kind of give you a card. I know there are going to be a couple of rematches demanded, but only one's going to be adhered to, and that would be Ruthless Ryan Davison. He's going to get a shot to face Pop on March 7th. See if he can best the two Crusaders, and let's see what he can do with that. I know March 21st we're going to have probably a couple other rematches, but I'll cover the March 7th show. Also, just to give Kelly advance warning, Kelly will be facing Kaotic. Both were on the losing end last show, and this gives Kelly a couple of weeks to become prepared for the match with Kaotic, and I'm sure Kaotic's going to come in with a lot of steam. Gustavo Mendoza will take on Robbie the Rockstar. I believe this is a chance for both guys to get on the winning track, and I never like to have guys going on losing streaks, so I always want to give guys an opportunity to see what they can do and stop the downward slope before it goes any worse. Also, I was talking to VIP after the match, after the show, and he stated that he was very impressed with Q and would like a match. So I'm gonna see these two, Q and VIP, going one-on-one. Let's see what these two guys can do. And in your main event, Rubio spoke to me and didn't like the fact that Adrian Sensation was the opening match. Although being the debut, I think every match is important, and I wanted to start the show with a bang. But I'm going to adhere to Mr. Sensation's request through red letter from Rubio, but he will be facing Brett Idol, who is starting to get quite the reputation. WWE, TNA are looking at this guy, but guy's got he looks like $1 million and very talented. Known Brett for a very long time. I'm very much looking forward to that match on March 7th. A couple of other things. May 2nd is where the IWCS will culminate. A tournament that will eventually, one night, will crown the first ever IWE champion. That is May 2nd. April 4th, we'll have, most of our shows start at 7 p.m. for all of those. Doors open at 6. But April 4th, due to the Hall of Fame, WWE's Hall of Fame, and also Ring of Honor being on that Saturday, we would like to do our show with a special start time of 11 a.m. 2 hours of good quality entertainment, preparing you for quite the weekend. I know Ring of Honor is going to kick it off, but IWE also will be doing stuff in the mix on that day. Our next show, like I said, March 7th. Be on the lookout. Go to IWE Slam, our MySpace. Definitely go to our YouTube channel. Check it out if you're not checking it out there. Also, because the Lucha Lounge is going to do a new little segment, I feel, I want to help my fellow male gender out and, offer some advice and whatnot. So the Lucha Lounge actually is going to, as well as Steve DeMarco, is going to host quite the interview segment beginning on March 7th. And it's going to be Getting to Know a Woman of IWE. So my first interview with the Lucha Lounge, first ever, will actually be with, she's ready for prime time, people, Maria, my co-host in IWE, and we're going to talk pretty candidly, and that actual video will debut on March 7th, so be on the lookout for that. But you know, I had a blast. Overall, the show I felt was top notch. I think anyone who actually came to watch the show voiced my sentiments as well. And I appreciate everyone who came out and supported IWE and continues to support it, as well as, you know, all the crew, all the staff. Again, from DOJO Productions to the wonderful women of IWE to the talent, definitely the talent. Without them, there really is no show. We need them as well. I'm looking forward to the challenges of being a host of IWE and helping to build IWE and make it into something pretty grand. But, you know, like any new venture, any new wrestling company, any new independent, you know, it all starts with the fans that come to watch the shows, and I definitely want to hear feedback. You know, us at IWE, we definitely aspire to give people, like I said, 2 good hours of solid wrestling action. You know, the ball just started rolling on the 21st. The journey begins, culminates on May 2nd with a crowning of a champion. Probably our first ever DVD taping, at least me hosting. That's my plan. But expect some more promos, footage, and whatnot. And stay tuned and actually strap yourself in and enjoy the ride, because it's going to be one hell of a one. Again, I hope everyone enjoys their visit at the Lucha Lounge. You know, come on board and come to IWE, where the Lucha Lounge will host the after parties and whatnot. Yes, we do have after parties after the show. A chance for you to get to know the talent, the women, as well as the staff. And again, like I said, I appreciate everyone's input. I look forward to hearing back from everyone, and I'll keep everyone informed of my comings and goings as well. But for right now, like I always say, there is no show without Steve DeMarco. But more importantly, you know, I want to give everyone a reason to DeMarc out. Come on, people. You know you wanna. Later.